It's been a good week. I've had one day on the CX, got some work. Rest of the week doing my route multi-drop. A bit of a glitch with the VAT returns this quarter, and I had a frustrating day with some failed deliveries. Morning, it's Monday the 3rd of July. I'm Dave, Anvil Logistics. And it's a bit different for me today. I don't have a multi-drop run to do. I had a message to say that there wasn't enough work in. It's quiet, that everything can be taken care of in-house, so to speak. But I did have 2 drops that were left on my van from Friday from 2 companies that were closed early on Friday. And I asked them what they wanted me to do with them, and they said, if you don't mind dropping them off, we'll pay you. So which I've done. I've dropped both of them off. They weren't far from me. One was in Oldham and the other one was just down the road in Hyde. And I've dropped them off, and it's 8:10 in the morning. They're all done. I've been paid to drop them off, so got a little bit of money for the day. And I don't know what to do now. I've gone on the feed on the CX. Shall I have the day off, or shall I try and get a job? So I've got the feed on. I'm going to park up here in Hyde where I am for a bit and see if there's anything worth bidding for. My biggest problem with bidding on the CX now is, of course, my lack of feedback, besides the usual lack of work that can happen on here. So it'll be interesting to see if I throw a few bids in whether I actually pick anything up. Because if you look at my recent feedback on my profile, hardly any feedback, because of course I've been doing all this work, well paid work, but that's the downside. If I need to use the CX, it may be more difficult for me to get a job. So I'm going to see what pans out. I might give it an hour, and if not, I'll probably take the day off, because I'm more than likely back in there tomorrow. Anyway, we'll see, and I'll let you know. Well, the news is we picked up a job on the CX. I did bid for a few and I didn't get a sniff. And I thought, well, I'm not overly bothered. I think I'll go home, because I picked up a little bit of money for delivering those things this morning. But I noticed an ADR job came on the feed, and it was from Normanton, which is about 40 minutes from where I am. And it was going to Batley, Leeds. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll put a bid on, because I have a minimum for ADR, mate. So I put my minimum charge plus a tenner to cover the diesel to get there. And they rang me to cover it. So it's worth doing. So I'm heading up there now. I'm about 29 minutes away. And I'll pick it up from, it's going from like a distribution centre, so I'll probably have to show my ADR licence when I get there, which, you know, is an ID as well. And it's going 14 miles to Batley, and it's 1 pallet. It's a nice and easy job. And then what I'll probably do is try and pick up a job from Batley back to Manchester area if I can, and I'll just see if we can pick something up, even if a cheap little job will do me. And that'll be alright, that'll be a satisfactory little day for me. I'll be back early, because I've got a rehearsal tonight for our band, the Ambaliers, if anyone's interested. We have got a YouTube channel. It doesn't have many followers, so if you want to subscribe to it, even if you don't listen to it and get our numbers up, that'd be lovely. So not bad, really, not bad. But it's just luck, isn't it, that? Just luck. Right person, right place, right time. There mustn't have been any ADR drivers in West Yorkshire. And I happen to be free, and I can cover this job for them. So that suits me down to the ground. So that's not bad. Probably going to be back on multi-dropping tomorrow. Hello everyone, it's Wednesday now. It's actually the 5th of July, and I'm heading in. I'm doing a multi-drop. I did a multi-drop yesterday as well, and I tell you something, I was knackered. It was a tough one yesterday. It was quite a bit of weight on it in terms of the packaging were all like 20 and 30 kilo packaging, and there was a lot of humping and shumping yesterday. I earned my money. There were far too many drops. They knew it. I wasn't going to complete them, and I hate it. I hate the fact that when I don't get it finished, even though I knew that, you know, I hadn't done anything wrong. I feel guilty bringing things back in today. But anyway, that's the way it is. But I was feeling my age yesterday. Definitely feeling my age, having to hump and shump these boxes about. But I enjoyed Monday when I didn't do the multi-drop, because I finished those couple of ones that were outstanding. Got an ADR job off the Courier exchange, and I actually picked a job in Leeds back to Manchester as well, which was, I didn't think I'd get one, to be honest with you, but I did, and that round, and I've got home early. Now I didn't earn as much money for the day as I would do doing the multi-drop, but it was okay. It was alright considering how many hours I actually worked. But then I'd had a message then, you know, business as usual, come back in. So I'm on it again today. Oh, thank you, by the way, for your comments that I got about the wheels trims or not to wheel trim. I meant to put that video out as one of those little shorts, but I'd filmed it in landscape, and for some reason when I tried to put it in as a short video, you must have to film it the other way around, because it just, you couldn't fit the van in the shots. But, you know, thank you for your comments, and I've taken the advice to heart. I've kept the wheel trims on, and yes, I think they are a little bit cheesy, and they are cheap ones. I ordered them a couple of months ago off the internet, probably from China or something like that, and they are a bit cheesy. They're not the original manufacturer's ones, but they're better than the dirty wheels. Now, I've had suggestions about getting a set of alloys, which I've actually looked into, because the camper van versions of this have alloys, and it's about £900 odd for a set of alloys with tyres. I suppose they're new ones, or I might keep an eye out for some decent second-hand ones, because I kind of like alloys. You know, you don't have to bother with them once you've got them on, do you? But you got to get the right ones. They've got to be commercial rated so that they can take the weight. I think that's why the camper van ones are the type of ones you need. Some other people might know more about that than me. And then someone else suggested, you know, get them sanded down and get them repainted, which I did last time, but they didn't seem to last very long. But again, I'm not a body man, am I? So I did sand them down with me electric Brillo pad thing, and then I sprayed them. But you probably, I think you can do things like powder coating and things like that, can't you? I mean, it's a minor detail, but I just thought the wheels were letting the van down a bit. I mean, yes, it's only a Citroen relay and it's nothing posh, but I just think first impressions count. And if your van looks smart, it leaves a little impression with potential customers, doesn't it? It's only a minor detail, I know, but all the minor details do add up. Anyway, I do thank you for your response to that very, very short video. And so at the moment we're wheel trimmed up with cable ties on, and it does look a little bit better, but the wheel trims, like I say, are the cheap ones, and I'm expecting to see one come sailing past me one day as I'm driving around. But I'm going to keep an eye out for a set of alloys, and then look into other options as well. But at the moment it's just like putting a bit of a plaster over a wound, isn't it, by putting the cheap and nasty ones on for the time being. Fractionally better, I'd say. So I think for the rest of the week, possibly it's going to be multi-drop. As much as I am knackered from yesterday, it is a guaranteed source of income in at the moment a very uncertain time. But I do prefer the same day delivery work. I enjoyed it on Monday, I must admit. But if I can't guarantee the money, you know, I just don't want to be sat there for ages bidding for work. The idea is really to utilise this Courier exchange as a backload site. So if I can find a customer who's going to give me same day ADR work, then that would be the ideal scenario, wouldn't it? But at the moment, this multi-drop or route that I'm doing will suffice for the time being, because what it's doing is it's giving me a bit of a security blanket money wise. So I shall sign off now and not bore you anymore, because obviously I'm heading in. I'll get myself loaded up, do the day, and I'll report in later in the week or at the end of the week, unless something significantly interesting happens. Hello, Thursday 6th of July. It's about just after 1 in the afternoon. And we're doing a bit of a multi-drop run today, or a route. Today it's like South Manchester, going out through Wilmslow, Macclesfield, Buxton, High Peaks, and then drop back down into Stockport to finish. And at the moment I'm just on the way to Buxton, going from Bollington. And as you can see, it's quite a nice country road. I've been up a single track road before that, but today's been a bit of a grueler really. It didn't start well, because the first drop of the day was at a company, Willinshaw. Won't say the company name obviously, but all I had was one 25 litre liquid container, a plastic container, 25 litres of liquid, a chemical. And the company, it's like a medium-sized company, it wasn't too big, but they had the old security gate to get through, which you get through to reception, and she said, if you go into the yard man will take the goods off you, so no problem. So I drive into the yard. It's quite a big yard, it goes round the building. Wasn't too sure, there was no sign saying goods in, so drove round a bit, saw a fella, said, is this goods in? He said, no, it's just back the way you came. So I reversed back round, parked up, and I opened the back of the van, took out the container, left it at the back of the van, shut the door ready. 15 minutes later, I am still there. So then I see two guys messing about with a tanker, unloading a tanker. So I wandered over and said, I just got this tub. Oh no, you need to wait for the yard man. I said, well, he's not here. Oh, he'll be out in a minute. 5 minutes later, he's still not there. Now, the people who I work for, because I'm on a route, and obviously I've got several drops to make, I can't hang about anywhere too long. So the rules are, you give it 15-20 minutes tops, and then you move on. So then a bloke started walking towards me, and I thought, oh, he's here. And all he said was, can you move your van please, because we need to get this tanker out. I said, well, do you want to take these off me then, and I can shift the van and get out your way? No, the yard man's got to take them. So I said, well, he's not here, you want me to move the van, which is fair enough, but I need to get rid of these. I've been here for 20 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not to do with me, I can't take them off, but we do need you to move the van. Now, I suppose I could have been arsy and said, well, I'm not moving the van until you take these goods. But in the end, I said, right, well, tell your yard man when you see him that I've had to take these goods and take them back, and it's a failure. We can't deliver them to you. So I rang the office, told them, this is a blind bend, this, you can't see jack. Just about got out there. Sorry about that, but just getting onto the main Cat and Fiddle Road there, and when you've got a van, you obviously ain't got no back windows, have you, to see out, so on a tight turn like that, it's a bit dubious. Yeah, so I've had to take it away, but it's just a waste of time, and then Delivered the next one fine, and then the one after that, Manchester Airport, completely wrong details. I had a phone number on it. It was in the fuel farm area. Rang the guy, couldn't understand a word he was saying. He couldn't understand a word I was saying. He was in Scotland, and again, couldn't make that delivery. I rang the office. They thought they'd try and find some more information. Couldn't get any joy, so I've got 2 failed deliveries on today, which I hate. But you know, not my fault. But I've got to keep moving. You can't spend too long on one drop, because then it compromises the rest of your route. There's the Cat and Fiddle pub for those of you who... This used to be a great road, this, years and years ago when I had a motorcycle. It used to be a great road for riding your bike on. But now, they've made it an average speed of 50 miles an hour. And it's not as much fun anymore, I believe. But it was a dangerous road. There was quite a lot of fatalities on this, so I suppose it's for the best. So we'll carry on now, get this one done in Buxton, and then it's dropped down into High Peak, do a delivery collection, and then make my way back. I still should be finishing home by 5, but it could have been so much earlier if I didn't have that wasted time. Well, that's the ups and downs, isn't it, when you do these? You can't hang about. And when you're on a same day delivery, if you're waiting, you get waiting time, don't you? Well, there ain't no waiting time on this game. You get a day rate. But the day rate is generous, so you take the highs and you take the lows, don't you? Anyway, just thought I'd impart that bit of information to you. Morning, everybody. It's Friday the 7th of July, and on the way into, I call it work, but of course it's in to do a route today. I've got a pallet on board from a collection yesterday, which they just said bring in the next day. Pretty good there, really, because they know, because I'm self-employed, I'm not driving one of their company vans. It's sometimes a bit of a pain to go back in later on to take collections in, and as long as make sure that everything's secure and looked after, they're quite happy for me to leave it on. I've got the old specs on today because the contacts a bit irritating me yesterday, so I put the spectacles on instead. I am short-sighted, not extremely short-sighted. In fact, I could probably drive without them, but I feel comfortable driving with eye protection in. As I've got older, strangely enough, my prescription has lowered, in so much as now it's borderline that I would need to wear glasses whilst driving, but I just think it's better. And certainly when it's dark, I definitely want the glasses on. So like my sunglasses are prescription, and I've got plain sunglasses, as in no prescription if I've got my contacts in. But today, a glasses day, so maybe I look more intelligent with them on. Probably look about 50 years older. So anything new? Well, the only thing new, because obviously I've been on this all week apart from Monday, is that fact that I had to pay me VAT last minute, which I wasn't very happy about. I like to get things out of the way. The deadline for paying the VAT is the 7th, which is today, and I ended up sending it through on a fast payment last night. And the reason for that is because the accountant made a bit of a boo-boo. And what happened there was that he did all my VAT figures and sent them through, and then realised that they were incorrect, because I am now flat rate VAT. But the flat rate was authorised from the 1st of May. And these VAT figures are taken in March, April and May, and he did it on the full VAT scheme, and then realised that in fact I'd be paying too much because May was on flat rate. And he then had to adjust all the figures and go through everything else, and it was like, it wasn't until late yesterday that we got the correct figure. I don't like being so late on things, but it's done and I've paid less, and also that means that all the VAT I put aside for that particular quarter was in the reserve account, and I don't touch that at all. And then once it's been determined how much I owe to His Majesty's government, because I keep forgetting about that, I pay it, and the balance can then be transferred to the business current account. So that's a nice little bit of extra money goes in the business current account, and the business current account looks reasonably healthy at the moment. I'm still putting money away for the van all the time. So at the present moment in time, we've got £550 van maintenance money tucked away. Last year, as I say, I paid about, I think it was 2,400 out in repairs in 12 months. £600 of that was the body repair that I paid without going through the insurance, and then the rest was servicing and maintenance and things like that. Oh, and a water pump and time as well. So £500 odd there, nestling and settled there. It's just that you don't want to be caught out if you can help it. You know, there is enough money in the business current account that would take care of most contingencies on the van, but you know, I do like to put the money away separate, and every week I add to it. I put £50 a week away, which over the course of the year, you know, is about £2.5 isn't it? And generally takes care of most things. Obviously something like an engine or something like that going, then, you know, that'd take me 2 years. It's probably about £5 for a replacement engine. And there comes a point where you, in a van's life, is it worth changing the engine? At the moment for this van, with it being a 19 plate and the mileage being relatively low at 97, I would say yes, it's worth replacing the engine. Not that there's anything wrong with the engine, but perhaps if the van was 2 years down the line with 200,000 miles on its clock and the engine pops in, would it be worth it? You know, it's touch and go. You've got to weigh up the pros and cons. If paying £5 out gets you another 2 years life out of the van, it might be worth it, rather than paying out 25k for another van, you know, another nearly new van. So hopefully it won't come to that. This will just lead a full life. I'd like to keep it for at least another 18 months, and then, you know, throw it in as a Part X for whatever it's worth, probably not very much, against a new or nearly new model. And I'd probably go for another long wheelbase job, run that for maybe 4 years, and then by that time, will I still be working full time? Will I not? I don't think so. I'd probably consider getting a small van and maybe going part-time. So we'll see, but that's further down the line, isn't it? Not to be worried about now. And who knows what the bloody transport industry will be like then. All these things, no point in worrying about too much about things you can't control. I don't know what the CX has been like this week, I'll be perfectly honest. I haven't had the feed on at all because I've had this. I did do 2 jobs on Monday, as you know, on the CX. I got an ADR job, which, you know, is a little bit different, and so the payment for that's different, you get more money for it. And then I picked up a little job from the Leeds area back to Manchester to get me home. And it was reasonably busy on that Monday, and I didn't have too much struggle picking up a job. I wouldn't say I got fantastic money for it, but it was get your home money from Leeds. And I'll tell you how much it was. It was £55 for a long wheelbase job from Leeds to Manchester that I bid just to get back. And in very short order, I got a phone call just giving me the job, and it was quite straightforward. Just a couple of pallets, and they were going to Middleton, which is not too far from where I live. So on the whole, on the CX, I can't give you any news what that's like. I do keep an eye on the feeds and the forums that I listen to, sometimes partake in, and, you know, again, a few people are, you know, a little bit disappointed why I was going for them. Some people seem to do okay. I think very much in the luck of the draw, and again, still prices are not so good. As in, they're very good for shippers and customers, not so good for drivers. Maybe. I think sometimes you get lucky, and it all depends on how desperate the job's needed and are you in the right place at the right time. But on the whole, it's definitely nowhere near as good as it was this time last year. This time last year, I was about, you know, a month in. I just found my feet really, and I was doing all right. It was okay, and at that time I had no other work apart from the CX, and I was earning money. You know, it wasn't fantastic money, but I was earning enough money to pay a wage and all the running costs and meeting my targets. Whether I'd be able to do that now as a new driver on the CX with no contacts, I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, let's hope things pick up. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for staying with me. Subscriptions have crept up a little bit again, and thank you very much. If you like the videos that I put out, if you find them useful or vaguely interesting, please give it a thumbs up. That just helps the channel get out to a wider audience. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Totally free of charge, no commitment to yourself. Then subscribe. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. And by the way, if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. Questions and comments are always welcome. Let's keep it interactive. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to mention, at the end of this video, I'm putting a video on from the Ambulers, one of our rehearsals. So if you don't want to watch it, press stop now. I'll put it on because, like I mentioned before, I am in a group called the Ambulers, and we've got a gig coming up, and I'm trying to promote it a bit. And I'm also trying to promote the YouTube channel for the Ambulers because we don't have many subscribers. So have a watch and see what you think. If you fancy looking us up, the Ambulers, and fancy subscribing, helping us out, please do. It's purely optional. Like I said, have a look, have a watch, see what you think. And if you want to subscribe, please do. If you don't want to watch it, stop the video now. For the Ambulers, we're doing another song, hopefully ready for our gig on the 22nd of July. And we're hoping that some of you will join us there, rather than just the barmaid and us. And we're going to have a go at Dakota a little bit differently. We're going to do it a little more slow, a little coffee lounge version, acoustic style. Have a listen and please let us know what you think. Thank you.
A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thinking back, thinking of you. Summertime, think it was June. Yeah, think it was June. Laying back, head on the grass, chewing gum and having some laughs. Yeah, having some laughs. You made me feel like the one. Made me feel like the one, the one. You made me feel like the one. You made me feel like the one, the one. Drinking back, drinking for two, drinking with you. It wasn't new. Sleeping in the back of my car. We never went far. Didn't need to go far. You
the one. I don't know where we are going now. I don't know where we are going now. Wake up, cold coffee and juice. Remembering you, what happened to you? I wonder if we'll meet again. Talk about the life since then. Talk about why they didn't. You made me feel like the one. You made me feel like the one. The one. You made me feel like the one. You made me feel like the one. I don't know where we are going now. I don't know where we are going now. Take a look at me 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 now. Thanks for listening. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up.